The night was calm. Too calm. On April 14th, 1912, the North Atlantic looked like a sheet of black glass. No waves. No wind. No warning. The RMS Titanic, the largest ship ever built at the time, sliced through the icy water with confidence. People called it unsinkable. A floating palace. A symbol of human progress. On board were some of the wealthiest people in the world, along with hundreds of ordinary passengers chasing a better life in America. No one on that ship knew they were heading toward history and tragedy. High above the deck, in the crow's nest, two lookouts scanned the horizon. Among them was Frederick Fleet. His job was simple but critical. Spot danger before it was too late. But that night, something was missing. Binoculars. Fleet had asked for them before the voyage. The answer he got was dismissive. They're not necessary. So instead, he relied on his eyes, straining through the darkness, searching for shapes in a sea that offered almost no contrast. The ocean was so still that even the usual clues were gone. Normally, waves breaking against an iceberg would create white foam, making it visible from a distance. But that night, there was nothing. Just black water and deeper black shadows. Time moved forward. The Titanic kept its speed. Then it happened. A shape appeared. At first, just a darker patch against the dark horizon. Then suddenly, unmistakable. Iceberg right ahead. Fleet rang the warning bell 3 times and picked up the phone to the bridge. His voice carried urgency now. Iceberg right ahead. From that moment on, everything came down to seconds. Just 37 of them. On the bridge, officers reacted immediately. Orders were shouted. The helm was turned hard to port. Engines were reversed. The massive ship began to respond. But the Titanic was no small vessel. It weighed over 46,000 tons. It could not pivot like a smaller ship. It moved with power, but not with agility. The iceberg loomed closer. 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 For a brief moment, it seemed like they might make it. The bow began to turn. The ship started to swing away. But it wasn't enough. The iceberg scraped along the starboard side of the ship, slicing open sections of the hull below the waterline. It didn't look dramatic from above. No explosion. No massive crash. Just a long, tearing sound, like metal being slowly unzipped. But beneath the surface, the damage was fatal. Water began flooding into the compartments. One then another, then another. The Titanic had been designed to stay afloat, even if 4 compartments were breached. But 5 were now filling with icy seawater. It was a death sentence. In the years that followed, one question haunted investigators, historians, and the world. Could this disaster have been avoided? The answer is uncomfortable. Yes and no. Let's go back to those 37 seconds. Experts later recreated the scenario. They found that if the Titanic had spotted the iceberg just a little earlier, just a few seconds sooner, it might have made all the difference. In fact, with roughly 500 more feet of distance, the ship could have turned enough to completely avoid the collision. 500 feet. That's all that separated survival from catastrophe. So why didn't they see it sooner? The missing binoculars became a central point of debate. Would they have helped Fleet detect the iceberg earlier? Possibly. Binoculars could have sharpened the outline, made the shape clearer against the dark horizon. But others argue that binoculars narrow your field of vision. They might have helped identify the iceberg, but not necessarily spot it sooner. Then there was the speed. The Titanic was moving fast, about 22 knots, despite reports of ice in the area. Slowing down could have given the crew more reaction time, more margin for error. But at the time, maintaining speed was common practice. The ship was on a schedule, and confidence in its design was high, too high. And then there were the conditions. That eerily calm sea. No waves meant no warning, no foam, no sound, just silence. It was the worst possible scenario for spotting an iceberg. When investigations began, including the one led by the United States Senate, no single person was found fully responsible. Not the lookouts, not the officers, not even the captain. Instead, the disaster was seen as a chain of small factors. A missing pair of binoculars, a calm, deceptive ocean, a ship moving at high speed, a massive vessel slow to turn, and 37 seconds that simply weren't enough. In the end, the Titanic didn't sink because of one mistake. It sank because everything lined up in the worst possible way. A few seconds earlier, a few hundred feet more, a slightly different decision, and history might have been rewritten. Over 1,500 lives were lost that night. But what makes the story so haunting isn't just the tragedy. It's how close it came to not happening at all. Because sometimes, history doesn't turn on grand events. Sometimes it turns on seconds. Just 37 of them.